yogis, and welcome to your 15-minute stretch. So this will be a short sequence that is focused around your hips. We're going to go through what's called a dragon cycle. So we are going into lunges. So if you do want to grab a blanket or a towel or a cushion to put your back knee on, you're more than welcome. If you do have any other props, you're more than welcome to grab those as well. So then we're coming onto our mats, and you're going to come into a low lunge. So right foot forward and your left knee behind you, and you're just going to frame the hands around your front foot. Front ankle directly underneath your front knee, and you're just going to pause there. If you need more cushioning underneath your back knee, of course, slide something underneath. But just coming to this position here. And then you're going to soften. So this is a yin sequence to open out through the hips. So rather than activating your muscles, I want you to soften into this lunge. So you're allowing your pelvis to make its way down towards the earth. And depending on where you're holding on to tension, you may feel this more through the hip flexor, so at the front of your left hip. You might feel it more towards the back of your pelvis. There's no right or wrong. We all hold on to tension a little differently in our bodies. Once you settle into that shape though, you can close your eyes, you can breathe. Just be patient. Now for some of you this will be more than enough, and if so, then I encourage you to stay here. But if you have the capacity to come up into a high dragon, you can bring one or both hands onto your right knee or thigh. If you do have props, you can also bring your hands onto props. But what we're trying to do now is to go from a position where our chest is forward in this baby dragon to bring our torso upright into a high dragon. So this will bring more intensity into the sensation. So we are softening through our hips here. Our exhale and gravity are bringing more freedom. Now the beauty of the dragon cycle is that it really starts to activate through our liver meridian, and it gets that chi, that prana or life force energy flowing a little more freely. But because of that, and because we're releasing a lot of those emotions around the pelvis and the hips, people tend to get quite grumpy in the dragon cycle. So I apologize, but it's better to release it than to hold it all in. One more breath here. And then we're coming down into our low dragon. So both hands on the inside of your right foot. This might be enough for you. If you want to come down a little deeper, then you can bring your elbows onto your rolled up blanket or towel or a bolster and coming down onto the elbows, or you can bring your elbows directly down onto the ground. So just whatever works for you, keeping your right foot flat on the ground. So the knee isn't moving, the knee is still upright, not winging out to the sides. So knee is upright, foot is flat, both hands or both elbows on the inside of your right foot. And then keep the depth through your hips here. I know it's tempting to come in and out of these poses, but the benefits come from pausing, breathing, finding that stillness rather than moving in and out, in and out. So hold your pose, find a shape that is sustainable for you to breathe through. It's not going to be particularly comfortable, but it should be a sensation that is a long sensation, a long release and stretch. And then you breathe. One more deep breath. Now you have the option of coming into your winged dragon. So this is when we come onto the outside edge of the right foot. So whether you're on your hands or on your elbows, you're winging your knee out to the side and coming onto the outside edge of your right foot. So keeping low if you can as you wing the knee out to the side. Keeping a little bit of tension in your right ankle, just so you're not sickling through the ankle. Knee out to the side, hips are still low. Trying to hold on to that depth without shifting in and out. Then once you have your shape, come back to your breath once again. Come back to that stillness. And then you can stay here a little longer, but the final part of our cycle is to come into a twist. So once again, you can stay on the elbows and bring your right hand to your right knee, or if you are on your hands, then you're just bringing right hand to knee as well. And you're twisting towards your right knee and you're looking over your right shoulder. So trying to keep the depth through your hips and just starting to bring a twist into this movement, into this shape. Try to find that shape that's sustainable for you. And breathe. Almost there. And gently unraveling. And you're going to slowly take your time to come out of that deep lunge. It might feel good to just shift the hips back and straighten through the front leg. Maybe for you it's child's pose or down dog, but wherever you're moving to, move slowly. We're coming out of a really deep hip opener. So you have to give your fascia, your connective tissue, a little bit of time to ease out with you. So there's no rush. Take your time. Now if you do need to reach for any props for your second side, just starting to reach for them now. And then we're coming into a lunge with our left leg forward. So if you need a cushion to put under your right knee at the back, that's fine. We're bringing left foot forward, right knee back, and we're just starting in that baby dragon to start with. So hands are framing the front foot, front ankle underneath your front knee, gently softening your hips down. Just take your time to find that shape, whatever it is for you. So you might need to just gently adjust your front foot, your back knee, your hands, but then once you find that position, allow your chest to come forward, your hands to come down to the ground. You can always bring a prop into play if you need to. And start to get acquainted with your right hip flexor on this side. Maybe it's the back of your left hip. But close your eyes and just start to observe that sensation. Finding your stillness. Trying not to fidget too much. And if you are, come back to your breath. That simple focus on our inhalation and exhalation can help to calm your mind down, and that in turn helps you to find stillness in your body. And staying in this baby dragon for 5 more breaths. slowly, when you're ready, we're coming up into our high dragon. So you can either bring both hands on top of your left knee or thigh, or you can bring your right hand down and your left hand on the knee. But whichever shape you're coming into, trying to bring your chest upright so your torso is now stacked vertically, and it will bring more intensity into the sensation. So you will now start to feel a little more through the areas that you're holding onto tension. So just take your time, be patient, support yourself as much as you need to. There's no rush to find full depth here. In fact, the opposite. Take your time, because this needs to be sustainable. You need to be able to hold your shape and to breathe through it. So there's no rush. Once you have your shape, you can close your eyes, pause here in your high dragon, breathe. Almost there. Take one more deep breath. Then we're coming into our low flying dragon. So both hands on the inside of your left foot. If it's available to you, you're coming down onto your elbows. Now you can come onto your elbows directly onto the floor, or you can come down onto your blanket or your towel if you need a little more height. But you're keeping your left foot planted into the ground, left knee is still facing upright. And then bringing both elbows or both hands on the inside of that left leg. And just find a position for your head and your neck without streaming through the neck. Still finding that depth and softness through your pelvis. Breathe. Now the next part of the cycle is coming into our winged dragon. So now you're staying nice and low, so whether you have your elbows or your hands on the ground, but you're allowing your knee to go out to the side. So now left knee out to the side, coming onto the outside blade of your left foot. Just making sure you're not sickling through your left ankle. So staying low with the torso, wing your knee out to the side, keep the depth with your hips. So trying not to lift the hips out of this, just keeping the hips stable, simply moving your left knee out to the side for winged dragon. And once you've settled into your winged dragon, come back to your stillness, come back to your breath. Now the last part of our cycle is to come into our twist. So So whether you're keeping your right elbow down or your right hand, you're keeping the depth with your hips, bringing your left hand to your knee and starting to twist towards your left leg, looking over your left shoulder. Hips are still low. Breathe into the twist of your belly. Almost there. 5 more breaths. The end of that 5th breath, take your time. This has been a very long, deep hold with your hips, so you need to ease your way out slowly, gently. Maybe starting to shift your hips back and starting to gently straighten through your front leg, easing out of the hips. Take your time. Maybe it's down dog or child's pose for you, whatever feels good for you to rebound out of that hip opener. Take your time. Now if you would like to come into a relaxation or into a seated meditation, Shavasana, you're more than welcome to. If you do, pause there for at least 10 rounds of your breath to find stillness. But this is where I'll leave you today, coming out of that dragon cycle. So I hope that your hips have enjoyed a little extra love today and you find more freedom as you go into the rest of your day. Thank you for joining me and namaste.